The first generation of superheroes has kept the world safe for nearly a century. Now their children must live up to their legacy. Hello, everybody. I'm Steve from VALHARTV, and today I'll be reviewing Jupiter's Legacy. Now, this is a comic book series, if I'm not mistaken, from Mark Millar. And from what I've heard and read, Netflix has made a deal with Mark Millar to bring a lot of his works to the streaming platform. So they made a deal with him for that stuff. So we're going to see more of Mark Millar's works on there, which I think is very interesting. So Jupiter's Legacy follows a team of superheroes who got their powers in the 1930s. And the Utopian, who is played by Josh Duhamel? Yeah, Josh Duhamel. Sorry, mispronounced that. Who is the Utopian? He's basically Superman. He's the one right there in the middle. And he has basically set a code for the team, the Union, to live by. So this is like Justice League type team. And we see the team is really starting to struggle in modern day with the code, as the supervillains have changed the rules. They've started, they've probably always killed people, but they've really started to ramp it up. And we see like a lot of people starting to struggle with this. And of course, they're older. They have families. The Utopian has a son and a daughter. And we see their kids starting to question the team, the Union, the group, and the code that they live by. Like don't kill. And we get to follow the original members, but then we get to follow their kids on top of it, and the kids struggle with a lot of different stuff. Like Utopian's son Paragon is trying to live up to the Utopian's expectations, and the ceiling's extremely high, so he's trying to live up to that, but he's struggling with it because he sees a lot of things that are happening that they won't change, and the Utopian will not change. He's stubborn. And we also get to follow his daughter Chloe, who's basically a supermodel / drug addict / hates daddy. So we really get to see that she's more rebellious than her brother. And then, of course, we get Walt, who is Brainwave, and he's the Utopian's brother, Sheldon's brother. So we get to really follow all this. But then on top of that, they sprinkle in like a twist with a supervillain, and then we get their origin story on top of it. So we get like a lot of different plots kind of going along at the same time. Now, I really did like their origin story and how they got their powers, but they sprinkled it into like almost every other scene throughout all 8 episodes, which is what I didn't like about it. This should have been one full episode. And it should have been like the prologue, like episode 1, where we follow the story of all of these people getting their powers, and then we could have jumped into modern time instead of continuously going back and forth like almost every other episode or every other scene. So I thought that was a really interesting choice to do, but I really feel like it could have been like one complete episode and been like episode 1, because I did like it, but it just kept seeming like it was a little more drawn out than it should have been. So with all of that, with everything that they sprinkle in, especially going back and forth with the kids, everybody's getting disenfranchised. We see the team is starting to really break apart and everything because the Utopian will not change and refuses to adapt to the modern times because he feels like they need to stick to something that stopped working years before. So we really get to see like this is chronicling their like the end of the union for the whole team. So I really did like this show. Jupiter's Legacy is a great show, uh, but there's like a lot of different plots that they interject into it that just make it a little convoluted, a little muddied. But other than that, it was a great show. I actually really did enjoy this show, especially following all the different things. It's just they could have done it just a little bit better. Now, the effects were fantastic in this. The fight scenes, not so much. They were little more comic booky than I guess I think that they were going for. So it looked really kind of, like I kind of laughed a couple of times during like a couple of the fights just because of the way they looked and the way they were doing things. But like their costumes were fantastic. The aging up was fantastic as well. The prosthetics, everything looked fantastic. Like all the sets did too. So I really liked that. This had a great music score as well, which I actually enjoyed quite a bit. And the acting was great. Again, except for the fight scenes. Like some of them were good, some of them just looked bad, and they just were kind of a little more comic-y than they should have been. But we really get to see like some really good acting in this from really good actors. So I really did enjoy all of this. I would honestly recommend watching this. This was a fun and good show to watch. It reminded me of The Boys a little bit, but not as messed up. Like The Boys is super messed up. And that's why you watch The Boys. Because you really want to see what happens in real life to superheroes when they basically just go crazy. And this kind of follows that, but it's more based in what the ideologies are of each of the characters. So I really did enjoy like the whole thing. I would at least give this 8.5, 9 easily out of 10. This was a really good show. If you guys like what I do, please hit the like button and also subscribe, as I'll be doing more content each week. And leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this show. Take care for now, everybody.